All right, next.
I think Joel touched on this a little bit already, but how do you stave off the temptation to get a part-time job, especially if you don't have as much of a safety net as you would like to have had? Like for example, myself, I didn't quit per se. I was let go at the end, or at the beginning of last year.
Tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself.
I quit. So, we already had some creative irons in the fire, so I was trying to explore those from last year.
Go for it. I want to answer this one so bad. Go for it. Say it.
Yeah, let's go with our new quitters and mid quitters here for this answer.
All right. So the deal is, if you're thinking about this in terms of running a business, you need money coming in, and the money can come in a number of different ways. Think of yourself as the owner of the business, and you have a number of clients. Some of my clients pay me to sell them music and t-shirts. Some of my clients pay me to tell them why the click path on their website is not working so well. Some of my clients, and I really feel bad about saying shitty content writing because I was trying to make a joke and it was not so good. Some of my clients pay me to write articles about how to braid hair, which I actually really love doing. So what I mean to say is, as long as you know what you are, know who you are, at heart, I am Hello the Future. I have no problem writing articles about braiding hair to help that. And I don't think of it as a part-time job. I think of it as bringing money into my business.
Yeah. Just because we quit full-time jobs doesn't mean that they're bad. You know, I part of what I'm doing is training myself to get another full-time job, but doing more directly what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just because we quit a job doesn't mean they're evil. A part-time job is still worthwhile. And I totally agree with Nicole that it's
in your case too,
stream comes in. You need
if you're looking for animation work, your path might be quit the job you hate, figure out how to do what you love, and then get hired by an animation studio. Matter of fact, we should talk after this. I just so happen to have some friends that are about to make a cartoon. So,
It is a valid point that, granted, he said earlier to make quitters, I have had to go back into the enterprise world. Some of the skills that I picked up doing my thing, there is no logical path I could have taken in the professional world to get those skills. Mm-hmm. And having re-entered the professional world, I'm now doing much, much better financially than I ever would have been capable of doing otherwise, which empowers me later on to take the skills I now have and quit again should I choose. Sorry, dear. The point is...
She's flop sweating now.
The point is that it's all worthwhile, is what I'm getting at.
It's oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if you said, you don't want to get a part-time job, but you don't have much of a safety net, you should probably get a part-time job. You have to have a safety net because things aren't going to work. You're not going to make money until you do. And so if you don't have money and you don't make money, then you don't have money.
And your safety net, to be fair though, the safety net is not always true. You cannot argue with his math. A safety net can also be people too. It might be, look, I got a friend or a family member who's going to let me crash on their couch for 6 months while I try and get my thing going. I mean, safety doesn't have to be money. Money's safest, but
that's a good point. You have to be willing to live as cheaply as you can.
Cut out everything.
We used to have 2 salaries, high income, aerospace jobs, all the money we needed, and then we quit our jobs, jumped off the cliff, put it all in the business, and we were living as inexpensively as we could.
I think every one of us would have to say we downsized.
It's amazing now to be like, hey, we can go on a cruise.
Yeah.
I would say one thing that I don't think a lot of people think of is location. We mentioned about how certain states have different insurance plans. Massachusetts, Mass Health. Your plan might be get rid of my car, get out of my apartment, and move to a place where that's a walking or bus or a subway city. Get 4 roommates. I used to wonder how certain cartoonists that seemed to have less readers than I did we're making a living, and then later I meet them at a convention and find out they live with 8 other people. You know, like that might be your path, is a bunch of roommates.
Can I jump in? Obviously, all of this, and we were lucky because we had a house, a pretty big house in Maryland that we sold, and we are still living off of that money.
Part of why we needed the huge job.
We knew that we couldn't sell. We knew we couldn't move until we sold the house because we needed the money, and we're still living off of that money, and it's dwindling fast. But it's also something to be said for, like, I agree with you when you said earlier about not waiting so long. You know, you said, what would you do differently or whatever. But at the same time, the fact that we're in our 40s means that we have skills and we have experience that young kids out of college may not have. And if you can find skills, even if they're not related to what you want to do, if you can find skills in your life that you can direct toward what you want to do in the new life, find them and put them on your resume, you know, or whatever, so that you can try to head down that path instead of down this slightly unrelated path, but kind of close path. You know what I mean? And the fact that you've been laid off, in a way, somebody made the decision for you. See if you can, I mean, again, easier said than done.
It's kind of like a push off the cliff. Just
somebody pushed you off already, so see if you can take it in that direction. I know it's easier said than done, but see if...
the only thing I would say about that question, which I think is very important, is try to work within your chosen field, even if it's on a freelance basis, while you're still doing your thing. I did a ton of freelance art, and it didn't feel as good as doing my own, but it was also, I like to say my worst day drawing was better than my best day selling websites to dentists.
And find the thing about you that's unique also, that makes you different.